What's up, my janky people? It's your boy Xander155 here to bring you guys life and all the jankiness that goes with it. I'm actually here to talk about my brand, my like what defines the word jankiness. I've always said it. Why I call you guys my janky people and things of that nature. Just to explain like where that came behind and like what does it explain to be. First of all, let me say excuse me. I am not at 100%. My nose is running a little bit, so I'm constantly gonna be like sniffing and things like that, and then constantly like my voice doesn't sound all the way right. I do apologize for that. But I'm going to try the best I can because I know if I wait that possibly I know somebody that could probably not make it till the morning. So I wanted to do this video in honor of that person. We're not going to name any names. I'm just going to say that. But without further ado, if you have not checked into one of my videos before, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so that you can be a part of my janky peoples and that you will be educated ever more. So let's get into this janky video where I basically explain what does jankiness stand for, what does it mean, where does it come behind. So originally the word jankiness was spelled Jankeynes. I spelled it that way. Me and my friend were, me and my old roommate. You guys can check him out. His name is basically player Sam I Am. I am Sam I Am. You can check him out on that channel. Or man, we're not gonna get into that. But we're actually used to be roommates at one point in time, and we were joking around, and I always used to say the word janky as like it was like a bad thing, just like, oh my god, you janky, and things like that. The word janky is technically is defined as a bad thing. And when I found out that it's actually meaning a bad thing, I was just like, oh, that's what that means. Janky basically is saying like something's bogus or it's run down, it's not right, it's not accepted, it's abnormal. Like I don't see it as being, I don't see me personally, the way I defined the word, I didn't see it as being as abnormal as possible. So I changed it. I changed it into my own little pizzazz. It's actually spelled Janky. That's janky. That's how you normally spell it. In the Urban Dictionary, it's seen as something being bogus or not right. So when I sat down and I reworded everything, I really thought about a whole bunch of stuff. Like, what does janky like do to define me? Like, how can I use this as in the positive way so that I can show people like, yo, this is a brand of something that I feel that is perfect. And it explains everything I've been through my entire life. Jankiness, I spell it personally, Jankeynes. So I want to talk about this word in three different parts. So I already explained the first part, which is Jank, which is used as a bogus way. But in using this word in this the first part of this word in that way to explain jankiness, you have to understand the first part. So my life and what I do and things that I do, the way I was raised, could be abnormal to some people. It could be not not deemed right, as society would say it. It's just like, oh, I was raised doing this. I was raised eating chicken and Kool-Aid. Like that could be deemed as abnormal to some people. And technically, your jank. You could agree with me upon this, but I think chicken is the shit. Like personally, I think it's the shit. It's everything. But some people just don't agree with that, which is fine. And that's my jank. That's my personal jank. Now the key part, I'm going to move on into the key part. So the key part is basically you usually normally use a key to open the door. Excuse me. You use a key to open the door, and well, you're thinking, why did I use JANKEY instead of using JANKKEY? Well, the reason why I chose just one K is because you can't have like you can't have a problem without making first coming up with a solution. You always have an ending to something, so don't just create problems without creating solutions to the problem. Like personally, when I woke up this morning, I was looking a mess. And before I hopped on this camera, I was just like, hold up, wait a minute, let me get it in the right way, the way I want to. So I created the solution, you feel me? But the key, you use a key to open the door. You use a key to open the door in this way of your abnormalities, your differences, your the way that society tells you that you have to be a certain way or you have to do a certain thing to make it in life is not always the right way. And personally, I don't agree with it at all. It's just, I don't feel that you have to do everything by the book. You have to look everything inside of a box. Like, there shouldn't be a reason on why me succeeding in my life says that I have to do everything one way. And so that's why I say my abnormality could be a key aspect of me moving forward in my life and opening a door that nobody else would ever think of. Like, no platform knows anything about that. Then we're going to move on to the last part of jankiness, which is the NESS, NESS, which I abbreviated. And I know it's spelled wrong, or it's spelled with two C's as necessity. I just put S just because it was just like, okay, jankiness. I love it. I like the way that sounds. So necessity, I kind of like wrote something down for me to remember because I wasn't. I know what necessity is. It's just like quick hand jot notes. Basically, I want to read this off right now. So necessity is a need to move forward. Basically, how do you use your abnormalities to open the door so that you may progress in your life? Like, how can you use all of the things that you were brought up, or all the things that makes you different from society's social norms and things of that nature? How can you use that to move you forward, to open a door, to change minds, to make people see that, hey, I'm different, and different is in a good way. This is what makes me me, and this is what I'm going to use to open that door. And once I open that door, I'm going to show you that life is not just a box. And that doesn't necessarily mean that life has to be a fairy tale either. It's just a way to see that my life has no meaning to you, but everything that I do that is different, to explain who I am and what I use to make sure that I can stand out on a platform and be the best damn person I could be. I'm going to use that to thrive off of. I'm not going to let anybody say anything out of box or out of context. And that's why I hit the hashtag jankiness, where now I'm using an abnormal point of view, or abnormal, like, difference that people don't even think of. Like, I'm 22 years old. I like video games. I like anime. And I'm like charcoal black. Okay, you feel me? I'm the darkest thing out, as you can see. I'm using lighting just so that you guys can see me perfectly fine. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. Because just because I'm the darkest thing out of Midnight Crisis doesn't mean that I can't be lovable. I can't have friends. I can't be myself. And that's where I'm just like, I don't like your janky. Like, my jankiness, technically, it doesn't have to be liked by people. It doesn't have to be loved by those. But you can create your own platform where people will follow you and show you that basically you're the shit. Like regardless of what you do. And that's why hashtag jankiness exists. That's why I live my life and people can look at a picture and say this is totally not okay. But I'll put more of that in my in the description describing like that's mostly on my Instagram of jankiness. Now, the second part of this video basically goes into another hashtag that I created, which was called Janky Questions, where I ask questions deeming off of the word jankiness that I've just explained, which is about like what society deems as abnormal or different, and using a key aspect as that to find a way to open the door and then question basically what society has to say. Has that Janky Questions, JANKEY questions with an S on the end. QUESTIONS questions. Now, the next part of this video basically was a janky question that was asked to me by a friend, where she basically asked me, how do I love myself? Like, how do I find time to love myself for who I am, regardless of the situation, regardless of the standard of like, how do I seem so confident in doing what I do? And so it was more so the question that I had wrote down. Like I said, I had dropped down the little notes before I started this. So the janky question that I came up with was, what does it take to love yourself, and how much confidence do you need? So I'm going to answer the first part of that question first, is basically saying, what does it take to love yourself? It could take as much as looking in the mirror, having a little small conversation with yourself, going, so every time I look in the mirror, I know personally, I look in the mirror, I go, you shit. Just look at myself. You are the absolute shit. You're the truth. You live day to day with a smile on your face. You don't let anybody deteriorate you for who you are. You are who you are, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's just you found yourself after all the stuff that you've been through, because nobody has been through what you have been through for you to become this strong. And I'm personally proud of where I was and where I was in my life, and then just like progressed so far. Like, there was a time where I did not love myself. I looked in the mirror and I didn't see anything there. I saw a shallow person, and that shallow person was just like ready to give it up, was ready to commit suicide, was ready to say, what's the point of even living if nobody loved me? What was I gonna do? And then something hit me. Something hit me really hard. It was just like, if I leave, or like if I gave up, or I just like jumped off a cliff, gave it up, nobody could say anything about me. I looked at my little sister. My little sister is now 18 years old. She'll be 19 soon. But I thought to myself, I'm like, how tragic would that be to give up for somebody who not even in high school yet at that time, was not even in high school, looking for like a platform on how to act, what to do, and how to like move forward and do the things that you do. Like, it was my sister. That was my anchor that brought me back from just like, yeah, it's hard now, but it gets better. And when I say it really does get better, it does get better. But it only gets as better as you want to make it. And then the second part of the question is, how much confidence do you need? How much confidence do you need is, at that time, all that you can muster, that you can pull out of your being at that time. Is you want to be the best person that you can be. You want to you want to put one foot first. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but I'm saying that you have to be the best version of yourself to let not anyone say anything to you that's going to bug you. I'm going to quote my mom on this. You can call her Mama Jank. Mama Janky. I love her. I love my mom so much. She told me this when I was very young. I remember it when I was 5 years old. She told me this. She said to me, "How can your family, your loved ones, the people that you were raised by, say anything about you, and they know everything about you, and it doesn't bother you? But you can let somebody out on the street, somebody that doesn't know you, say anything to you and about you, get under your skin. Like, how can you let somebody who doesn't know you from anything but what they see deteriorate who you are as a person?" And that stuck with me for so long. And at one point in time, I forgot about that. And she had to remind me, like, Xavier, how can you let somebody else tell you who you should be? Like, how can you let somebody that doesn't know you tell you who you should be and what you should do? The only person that gets that to define you is you. That's the only person that gets that. And then she gave me this ring, which is a spinner. It's a spinner ring. She gave me this ring. I didn't understand why at the time. And just thinking about it, it was as I'm constantly like flickering with it, I think about it more and more. It's more so like, you see how the ring basically, I'm going to take it off a bit so I can show you guys. So the ring spins in one motion. Now, you could choose whether the ring spins forward or you could choose it to spin backwards. And moving forward is the only way to go, because you can't go back. You can't go back. You can try, you can do whatever you can, but life moves forward. And nobody's going to stop just to pick up the pieces on what happened, what should have been, and things of that nature. I'm sorry. Life moves forward. It's 2018 and 2019 is almost here. It is the middle of what? May? I'm sorry, it's the middle of May. Yeah, it's the middle of May. And just to think about it, New Year's was just here and gone. Like, life moves on. So you have to, and in conclusion, let me just wrap this up because I know I'm like getting very close to that time. But in conclusion, if you want to find your anchor that keeps you sane, like somebody that you can go to and talk to. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be something that can get you away from the crazy worlds that we live in. Because I'm not going to say like it's easy, because it's not. It really isn't. You need to find yourself a key point, an anchor, a foundation to wrap yourself around so that you can get away from everything that you do for it could be as long as 2 hours a day. It could be as short as 30 minutes a day. Something that reminds you that, hey, I don't have it all. I don't have all the answers, but I'm still thriving to know all of the answers, or at least understand who I am and what I do. And that's basically jankiness. That's Xander155. That's my person. But if you guys want to know more, you guys can hit me up on my Instagram, which will be in the description below. If you did like this video, go ahead and like it, share it around, let your friends know. Until next time, these janky questions are going around. I catch you guys later. Deuces.